Welcome back, all you beautiful beings of light. Congratulations. Today we're in the double digits. Woo! We're here doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles. So go grab your book. We're about to start lesson 10. And what is today? We're still looking at our thoughts and we're kicking it up a notch. And I'm really excited to move into this space of my thoughts do not mean anything. This idea applies to all the thoughts of which you are aware or become aware in the practice periods. The reason the idea is applicable to all of them is that they are not your real thoughts. They are not your real thoughts. We have made this distinction before and will do so again. You have no basis for comparison as yet. Thank you, Jesus. When you do, you will have no doubt that what you once believed were your thoughts did not mean anything. This is the second time we have used this kind of idea. The form is only slightly different. This time, the idea is introduced with my thoughts instead of these thoughts, and no link is made overtly with the things around you. The emphasis is now on the lack of reality of what you think you think. This aspect of the correction process began with the idea that the thoughts of which you are aware are meaningless, outside rather than within, and then stressed their past rather than their present status. Okay, this is all really, really good, and I don't want you to miss this, so I'm going to do that again. This aspect of the correction process will begin with the idea that the thoughts of which you are aware are meaningless, outside rather than within, and then stress their past rather than their present status. So that's where our focus is, not on the unconditional loving presence of God and all that is good and the higher vibrational energies around us, in us that we are. We focus on the past, things that are outside of us. We're seeking some type of satiation, validation. You know, it's a game that we're playing, and the things that we want on the inside are projected outside for us. So this is fun. All right, this is merely another way of repeating our earlier statement that your mind is really a blank. To recognize this is to recognize nothingness when you think you see it. Recognize nothingness when you think you see it. As such, it is a prerequisite for vision. Close your eyes for these exercises and introduce them by repeating the idea for today quite slowly to yourself, then add, "This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe." The exercises consist, as before, in searching your mind for all the thoughts that are available to you, without selection or judgment. Try to avoid classification of any kind. In fact, if you find it helpful to do so, you might imagine that you are watching an oddly assorted procession going by, which has little, if any, personal meaning to you. As each one crosses your mind, say, "My thoughts about money does not mean anything. My thoughts about what my hair looks like does not mean anything." Today's thought can obviously serve for any thought that distresses you at any time. In addition, 5 practice periods are recommended, each involving no more than a minute or so of mind searching. It is not recommended that this time period be extended, and it should be reduced to half a minute or less if you experience discomfort. Remember, however, to repeat the idea slowly before applying it specifically, and also to add, "This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe." Oh, so I just feel this great compassion from Jesus as he reminds us once again, this should not be causing you distress. It may cause you a little bit of feeling of, whoa, like you're taken aback. It gets your attention because it's so different than how we're taught and what we think is real and all of that, like that sort of comes with the territory. But if it really starts to hurt you or bother you, stop. Instead of a minute, do 30 seconds. So I love that our teacher, our older brother, is extending this benevolent compassion to us as we work through this. And, you know, the statement, this idea will help to release me, not just help me, but to release me, because right now I am bound. I am bound by these thoughts. I am limited. My vision is smaller and darker, dimmer, less like excited about life because of what I'm doing to myself. This idea will help release me from all that I now believe. So helpful. Everything about this says loving kindness from a wiser aspect of ourselves. And I really hope that you feel that and that you practice these lessons with some curiosity and excitement. And like I said, I mentioned a few videos ago, you know, have a way of remembering throughout the day, because the worst thing that could happen is for this just to be your little spiritual morning and then not apply it to everything in your life. Like really fold it in, bake it into the cake of everything about you. And this all can happen inside of your mind. You can be thinking, my thoughts do not mean anything. You can be thinking, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. You don't have to come out and say it. Now, that's not saying you're hiding your spiritual practice, but if you feel a little uncomfortable, if you're new to this, like, how do I make this part of my life? It's very different. I don't know if I can talk to people about this, whatever. That's okay. You don't have to. Just make sure that you know, your vehicle that goes with you everywhere throughout the world, your body, your mind, make sure that you bring it with you into these other spaces. Take this lesson with you into the grocery store. Take it to a place, into the office where you're working, or into anything that you're doing that seems unspiritual. Because that's when you start to bring the connection together, that everything in your life is you, a entity of spirit, having this human experience. And then once we get to the end, we kind of wake up to the reality about what really happened. But, you know, let's take our time getting there. Let's really get into this. Let's really raise our vibration as much as we possibly can while we're having this experience as in a human body in this way. So thanks for coming back. Congratulations on making it to lesson 10. And remember, your thoughts do not mean anything. Have a good time with this one today, and I'll be back with you again tomorrow.